What if your entire life could change without you doing anything extreme? Just by improving one small habit today, welcome to this audiobook summary. This is not just a book explanation. This is a transformation guide. Today we explore Atomic Habits by James Clear, a powerful system that shows how small daily actions shape your identity, your success, and your entire future. Forget motivation. Forget big goals, because real change does not come from big moments. It comes from small habits repeated every single day. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Power of Small Habits That Change Everything. There was a young man named Daniel. Daniel was not lazy. He was not unmotivated. In fact, he tried many times to change his life. He would wake up one morning and decide, from today, I will completely change. He would start intense workouts. He would plan perfect routines. He would try to study for hours. But after a few days, everything would fall apart. And every time, he would feel frustrated. What is wrong with me? But the problem was never Daniel. The problem was his strategy. Because Daniel believed that big results require big actions. But life doesn't work that way. One day, Daniel read something that changed everything. Success is not the result of big actions. It is the result of small habits repeated over time. At first, he didn't believe it. How can something so small matter? So he tried a simple experiment. He decided to improve just 1% every day. Not 100%, not 50%, just 1%. At first, nothing changed. He still felt the same. His life still looked the same. But he continued, day after day. One page of reading, one short workout, one small decision to avoid distraction. Weeks passed. Still, nothing dramatic. But something invisible was happening. He was building momentum. Because habits are like compound interest. A small improvement, repeated daily, becomes massive over time. And the same is true for negative habits. Skipping one workout doesn't destroy your life. But skipping them for a year does. Eating one unhealthy meal doesn't matter. But repeating it every day creates transformation in the wrong direction. Daniel finally understood. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And his life started to change, quietly, slowly, but permanently. Chapter 2. Your identity is the real battlefield. Most people think change is about goals. I want to lose weight. I want to become successful. I want to be rich. But goals are dangerous because they end. Once you reach a goal, what happens next? You stop. James Clear explains something deeper. True change is not about goals. It is about identity. Let's go back to Daniel. Before, he said, I want to become fit. But nothing changed. Then he changed his language. I am becoming someone who does not miss workouts. This is where transformation begins. Because every action you take is a vote for your identity. When you study for 10 minutes, you are voting, I am a learner. When you skip junk food, you are voting, I am disciplined. When you wake up early, you are voting, I am someone who controls my time. One vote does not change your identity, but thousands of votes do. And slowly, something powerful happens. You stop trying to be disciplined, and you simply become a disciplined person. Daniel noticed this shift. Before, he had to force himself. Now, things started to feel natural. Not because life became easier, but because his identity changed. And when identity changes, behavior follows automatically. You no longer need motivation because you're no longer fighting yourself. You're becoming someone new. And that is the real secret behind lasting change. Chapter 3. The 4 laws that control every habit one day. Daniel failed again. He skipped his routine. He ate junk food. He wasted his time. But instead of quitting, he asked a new question. What if habits follow a system and I can control that system? That is when he discovered the 4 laws of behavior change. These laws explain how every habit is formed, good or bad. Law 1. Make it obvious if something is hidden, you forget it. So Daniel stopped hiding his goals. He placed his workout clothes where he could see them. He left his book on his desk. He made the right choice visible. And suddenly, starting became easier because visibility creates action. Law 2. Make it attractive. Your brain repeats what feels rewarding. So Daniel combined habits with enjoyment. He only listened to his favorite music while exercising. He made the habit feel good, and resistance started to disappear. Law 3. Make it easy. Most people fail because they make habits too big. Daniel changed his mindset. He didn't say, I will study for 2 hours. He said, I will study for 2 minutes. And once he started, continuing became natural. Because the hardest part is starting. Law 4. Make it satisfying. If something feels good immediately, you repeat it. So Daniel tracked his progress. Every day he completed his habit. He marked a small X, day by day. The chain grew, and he didn't want to break it, because humans love progress they can see. And when Daniel applied all 4 laws together, his life changed completely. Not through motivation, not through pressure, but through design. Because habits are not about willpower. They are about systems. Final message. Your future is built in silence. Most people are waiting for a big moment, a breakthrough, a transformation, a sudden change. But life doesn't work that way. Your future is built in silence. In the small decisions you make when nobody is watching. One page, one workout, one choice. And over time, those choices become your identity. So ask yourself, who are you becoming right now? Because every action today is shaping the person you will be tomorrow. Not someday, but starting now. Chapter 4. Habit stacking. Building habits on top of habits. Daniel started noticing something important. Even when he understood habits, he still struggled to stay consistent. So he asked a simple question. What if I don't need to start from zero every time? That's when he discovered a powerful idea. Habit stacking. The idea is simple. Instead of trying to build a new habit alone, you attach it to a habit that already exists, because your brain already runs on routines. For example, after brushing your teeth, do 10 push-ups. After making coffee, read 1 page. After sitting at your desk, open your notes immediately. No thinking, no decision, no delay, just automatic action. Daniel tried it. At first, it felt strange, but after a few days, something changed. He stopped asking, "Should I do it?" and started simply doing it, because the trigger was already built into his life. And that changed everything. Chapter 5. The environment is stronger than motivation. Daniel used to believe that willpower was the key to success. But he kept failing. So he tried something different. He looked around his environment and realized something shocking. His environment was controlling him. Not his thoughts, not his goals, not his motivation. His environment. If snacks are in front of you, you eat. If your phone is beside you, you scroll. If distractions are everywhere, you lose focus. So Daniel made one decision. He stopped trying to be stronger and started designing his environment. He removed distractions. He organized his room. He placed important tools in visible places. And suddenly, discipline became easier because the right action was now the easiest action. And this is the truth most people never understand. You don't need more motivation. You need a better environment. Chapter 6. The plateau of hidden progress. After weeks of progress, Daniel faced something dangerous. Nothing was changing anymore. No visible results. No clear improvement. No reward. He felt stuck, and he thought, maybe this isn't working. This is where most people quit. But James Clear explains something powerful. This stage is called the plateau of latent potential. It means your progress is happening, but you cannot see it yet. Imagine heating an ice cube. You increase temperature. 20 degrees Celsius, nothing. 25 degrees Celsius, nothing. 30 degrees Celsius, nothing. Then suddenly at 32 degrees Celsius, it melts. The change looks instant, but the process was slow and invisible the whole time. Daniel understood this deeply. Every workout, every page, every small habit, it was not wasted. It was building pressure. And most people quit right before the breakthrough. So he kept going. Chapter 7. The system always beats the goal. Daniel finally realized something life-changing. Goals are temporary. Systems are permanent. A goal says, I want to get fit. But a system says, I am someone who trains every day. A goal says, I want success. But a system says, I build success through daily actions. And the difference is everything. Because goals give direction, but systems give results. From that moment, Daniel stopped chasing outcomes and started building systems. Small daily actions, consistent routines, simple repeatable habits, no perfection. Only consistency, and slowly, his life transformed. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but permanently. Final conclusion. Atomic Habits is not about changing your life in one big moment. It is about becoming 1% better every single day. Because small habits are not small at all. They are the invisible architecture of your future. So if you take one thing from this story, let it be this. You do not need a new life tomorrow. You need a better habit today, and that changes everything. Chapter 8. The danger of perfection. Daniel reached a point where things were finally working. His habits were improving. His focus was stronger. His routine was stable. But then something new appeared. Perfectionism. He started thinking, if I miss one day, everything is ruined. If I don't do it perfectly, it doesn't count. At first, this mindset looked disciplined, but in reality, it was dangerous. Because perfection kills consistency. One missed workout made him quit for a week. One bad day made him feel like a failure, and that broke his progress. Then he learned a simple truth. You do not need perfect habits. You need consistent habits. One bad day does not erase progress, but quitting does. So Daniel changed his mindset. I will never be perfect, but I will never stop. And that kept him going. Chapter 9. The Golden Rule of Habits. James Clear teaches a powerful idea. Every habit must match your identity. If you want to become fit, you must act like a fit person. If you want to become successful, you must act like a focused person. But there is something deeper. You must enjoy the process. Because if you only rely on discipline, you will burn out. Daniel realized this when he started to suffer again. So he asked, how can I make this enjoyable? He didn't force himself anymore. Instead, he designed habits he actually liked. He studied in a calm environment. He listened to music. While working, he broke tasks into small wins. He celebrated progress, not perfection, and suddenly, discipline felt lighter. Because the habit stopped feeling like punishment and started feeling like growth. Chapter 10. The Identity Loop. Everything finally clicked for Daniel. He understood the cycle. 1. You perform an action. 2. That action builds evidence. 3. That evidence shapes your identity. 4. Your identity controls future actions. It is a loop. So every time he studied, he became a student. Every time he trained, he became an athlete. Every time he stayed consistent, he became a disciplined person. And slowly, he didn't need motivation anymore because he was no longer forcing habits. He was living them. Final chapter. Becoming the person you want to be. Daniel's life did not change in one moment. There was no sudden transformation, no magic day, no big event. It happened quietly, through repetition, through small decisions, through invisible progress. And one day he looked back and realized something powerful. He was no longer trying to change his life. He had already become the person he wanted to be, not because of one big decision, but because of thousands of small ones. Final message, you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need extreme motivation. You just need small habits, repeated daily, without stopping. Because in the end, you are not what you say you are. You're what you repeatedly do.